Did you know a pair of leather sneakers can roll off an overseas factory line for as little as $15 to $22? That exact pair, give or take a stitch, is sitting on a lit-up shelf in a Manhattan boutique right now with a $500 tag hanging off the laces. And the gap between those two numbers has nothing to do with the hide. It isn't a denser sole, tighter seams, a sculpted cork insole, or a fair wage for the hands that built it. It's the athlete on the billboard. It's the lease on a corner shop in the meatpacking district. It's a quarterly earnings call where executives promise investors fatter returns that have nothing to do with what's wrapping your feet. Here's the part nobody in the industry wants to say out loud. The drop in quality wasn't a slip. It was a strategy. Brands you grew up respecting sat around a polished conference table and signed off on swapping real leather for shaved-down scraps, spraying plastic finishes over the cracks, and gluing soles that start peeling before the first winter ends. The shoebox looks identical. The logo hasn't moved a millimeter. The receipt hurts the same. And year after year, you kept reaching for your wallet while they kept quietly hollowing the product out. In the next few minutes, we're pulling the curtain back on 5 sneaker labels coasting on reputation alone, brands charging heritage prices for warehouse clearance quality. Then we're handing you 3 names most people have never heard of. Small makers, real workshops, shoes where the money actually ends up in the leather. And the first name on the list? The so-called sustainable darling that half of Silicon Valley swears by. Number 5, Veja. Veja has built a massive global footwear empire on a single, powerful concept: sustainability. Walk through any major metropolitan city, and you will see that distinctive V logo on the side of thousands of feet. But Veja is arguably running one of the most successful greenwashing campaigns in modern retail. A standard pair of Veja Campos or V10s retails for around $150 to $200. The marketing heavily emphasizes recycled materials, ethical sourcing, and vegan leathers. But consumers need to understand what vegan leather usually means in the mass market footwear industry. It is polyurethane. It is plastic. The result is a shoe that physically refuses to conform to the shape of your foot. Independent customer reviews across the internet, from Trustpilot to Reddit, consistently flag the exact same catastrophic structural failures. Buyers report that the tongues on these sneakers are incredibly stiff and hard, digging violently into the top of the ankle and causing severe blisters. Others report that within a few short months of normal use, the internal heel padding entirely disintegrates, rendering the shoe completely unwearable. The shoes offer almost zero arch support and come with incredibly cheap, flat insoles that require immediate replacement with custom orthotics just to make the shoe bearable. You are paying $150 to walk on stiff plastic that falls apart in 6 months. The brand has capitalized entirely on the aesthetic of ethical consumption without delivering the fundamental requirement of a shoe: comfort and durability. You are buying a marketing claim, not a quality sneaker. Number 4, Nike Dunk Low and Jordan 1 Low. Nike is the undisputed king of global sneaker culture. But if you look past the endless collaborative drops, the engineered scarcity, and the hype-beast resale market, the actual material reality of their most popular casual shoes is shocking. A standard pair of Nike Dunk Lows retails for $120. The product description on their own website actively states the shoe features a synthetic leather upper. That is an industry term for plastic-coated fabric. This material is completely incapable of absorbing leather conditioner. It does not soften or patina over time. It simply creases sharply, cracks, and peels. Nike spends billions annually on demand creation, advertising, athlete sponsorships, and massive global marketing campaigns. But in the background, the company is facing intense pressure on its gross margins. To protect their profitability and appease Wall Street, the cost of goods sold has to remain astronomically low. When a brand's primary focus becomes restoring its gross margin, the first casualty is the physical material in your hands. The original Dunks and Jordans from the 1980s were built from heavy-duty materials designed to endure professional basketball games. Today's mass-market retros are built to look good on Instagram for exactly 3 months before the toe box creases permanently and the plastic finish chips away. For $120, you are buying a plastic shoe stamped with a swoosh. The heritage is real, but the product has devolved into a disposable commodity. Number 3. Common Projects, Achilles Low. Common Projects created the modern minimalist luxury sneaker. When the Achilles Low launched over a decade ago, it genuinely revolutionized the market by stripping away all logos, leaving only a sleek, elegant silhouette and 10 gold numbers stamped on the heel. But the problem with Common Projects today is that their retail price has skyrocketed, while the rest of the industry has entirely caught up to their manufacturing methods. An Achilles Low now retails for well over $400. When they were $250, the premium made sense. At $400 plus, the value proposition collapses completely. The hype has vastly outpaced the construction. Verified buyers, menswear enthusiasts, and professional cobblers repeatedly note that there is simply no return on investment with Common Projects at their current exorbitant price. The leather, while decent, is not exclusive to them. They use a standard Italian margom sole, which is excellent, but widely available to competitors who charge half the price. When you buy a Common Project sneaker today, you are no longer paying for a revolutionary design. You are paying a $200 premium strictly for those gold serial numbers on the heel. The minimalist aesthetic was originally supposed to be about paying for quality rather than loud branding. Ironically, that subtle gold stamp has become one of the most expensive brand logos in all of footwear. You can find the exact same materials for half the cost. Number 2, Golden Goose. Golden Goose is the ultimate exercise in luxury irony. The brand charges astronomical sums of money for sneakers that come pre-dirtied, pre-scuffed, and pre-distressed straight out of the box. A standard pair of Golden Goose sneakers retails for roughly $500, with many special edition styles climbing far higher. The brand leans heavily on its Italian origins to justify this price tag, marketing the cool, casual vibe of a shoe that looks like it has survived a war zone. But the underlying economics of this brand are brutal. Industry sources and manufacturing experts estimate that a shoe with this specific construction profile costs around $22 to manufacture. You are paying a markup of nearly 2,000%. What exactly are you funding with that premium? You are paying top-tier labor rates for factory workers to artificially damage the suede, scuff the rubber soles, and fray the laces before the shoe is even boxed. You are not paying for structural longevity or elite craftsmanship. You are paying for a manufactured aesthetic of neglect. Golden Goose successfully convinced the luxury market that looking disheveled was a high fashion status symbol worth $500,000. If you want a shoe that looks beat up, buy an honest, high-quality leather sneaker and wear it every day for 2 years. Do not pay $500 to have a factory do it for you, artificially. Number 1. Balenciaga Triple S. Balenciaga sits firmly at the number 1 spot because the gap between the astronomical price and the manufacturing reality is the most insulting in the entire luxury footwear market. When the Triple S launched, it kickstarted the massive, chunky sneaker trend. It is a massive, incredibly heavy, complicated shoe stacked on 3 inches of nested rubber soles, and it comes with a staggering price tag of $1,090. For years, luxury consumers justified paying 4 figures for Balenciaga because they believed they were buying elite European craftsmanship and cutting-edge Parisian design. But recently, Balenciaga quietly admitted to consumers that the production of their signature $1,090 Triple S sneaker had been completely outsourced and moved to factories in China. Specifically, production was reportedly moved to Putian, a city infamous worldwide for mass-producing replica sneakers. The brand claimed this move was because Chinese factories had the specialized capacity to produce a lighter shoe, but the retail price did not drop a single cent. The labor costs plummeted. The shipping and logistics costs were vastly reduced, but the $1,090 price tag remained exactly the same. When you buy a Balenciaga Triple S today, you are paying over $1,000 for a sneaker manufactured in the same region that pumps out budget fast fashion. You are paying for the brand name printed in bold letters on the side of the shoe. The illusion of European artisanal craftsmanship is completely dead. This is pure, unadulterated logo pricing at its absolute worst. That is 5 brands charging you for their marketing budgets, their artificially distressed aesthetics, or their corporate profit margins. Now, here are 3 hidden gems where the price tag is actually tied to the physical materials, the ethical labor, and the verifiable construction in your hands. Hidden gem 3, Oliver Cabell. Low 1. Oliver Cabell is the direct, transparent antidote to the common projects markup. They offer the exact same minimalist, luxury aesthetic, but they strip away the retail bloat and the luxury tax. Their signature sneaker, the Low 1, retails between $179 and $224, depending on the exact colorway. But unlike the mall brands sitting in that exact same price bracket, Oliver Cabell tells you exactly what is inside the shoe. They use premium 3-ounce full-grain Italian calfskin leather sourced from the Marche region of Italy. The inner lining is a luxurious, organic Italian textile designed for all-day breathability. The laces are organic Italian cotton. Most importantly, they use a C-base custom sole that rivals the industry standard Margom, combining high-traction rubber with lightweight EVA for superior shock absorption and lasting comfort. The internal construction is meticulously documented. The heel counters are reinforced with actual calfskin leather, not cheap cardboard or plastic inserts. At roughly $180, you are getting the exact same caliber of raw materials that legacy luxury brands charge $450 for. They don't use aggressive billboard advertising. They don't have massive retail overhead to cover. Every dollar you spend stays in the supply chain and ends up on your foot. With over 99% of verified buyers recommending the product, this is exactly what honest, direct-to-consumer pricing looks like. Hidden gem 2, Koio, Capri. If you want the absolute pinnacle of the Italian-made minimalist sneaker and you want it crafted ethically without the luxury logo markup, you buy the Koio Capri. Koio sneakers are authentically handcrafted in La Marche, Italy. They are built by the exact same highly skilled artisans who manufacture footwear for legendary fashion houses like Chanel. But Koio operates with absolute transparency. Their flagship shoe, the Capri, retails for $295. That price is entirely justified by uncompromising material excellence. The upper is constructed from 1.4 Form M thick vitello calf leather, which is chrome tanned locally in Italy. The sole is the legendary Margom outsole, the absolute gold standard in the luxury sneaker world, known for its incredible product consistency and resistance to splitting and abrasion. But Koio goes a crucial step further. They actually stitch the sole directly to the leather upper. This is a massive structural upgrade over the cheap, glued-on soles you find in 95% of mainstream sneakers. Furthermore, Koio guarantees that their workers are paid competitive wages and operate in a fair, community-oriented environment. Their labor costs are estimated to be 15 times higher than brands manufacturing in developing nations, but they absorb that cost into a tight, fair margin. When you buy the Koio Capri, you are paying for the finest Italian leather, a virtually indestructible stitch sole, and ethical craftsmanship. It is the ultimate common projects killer. Hidden gem 1, Crown Northampton. Crown Northampton does not make sneakers in the traditional, mass-produced sense. They make bespoke, world-class dress shoes that just happen to look like sneakers. Based in Northampton, England, the historic heart of British shoemaking since the 1600s, this fifth-generation family-owned company builds casual footwear using century-old traditional techniques. Their Everdon mid-top or whole-cut models will cost you roughly $600. That sounds exorbitant until you strip the shoe down and realize what you're actually buying. Crown Northampton completely ignores cheap foams, cardboard, and plastics. Instead, they use traditional shoemaking components. The interior of the shoe features a genuine cork-filled footbed that molds permanently to your specific footprint over time. They use a full vegetable-tanned leather insole. The heel and toe counters, the unseen internal structures that hold the shoe's shape, are made from oak bark tanned leather, not the synthetic plastics used by almost every other brand on earth. The upper is crafted from world-renowned materials like Horween Chrome Excel or Scottish Red Deer suede. Because they are built exactly like traditional hand-welted or hand-stitched dress shoes, they are fully resolable. When the rubber finally wears down after years of heavy city walking, you do not throw them away. You simply have a cobbler attach a new sole. A $600 Crown Northampton sneaker will outlast 5 pairs of $120 Nikes. It is not a disposable piece of seasonal fashion. It is a lifelong investment. You are not paying for a logo. There is almost zero exterior branding. You are paying for the absolute highest level of craftsmanship available in the modern footwear industry. Across all these brands, the pattern is identical. In footwear, retail price is not a proxy for quality. It is a proxy for how large the marketing infrastructure is and how far removed the consumer is from the actual cobbler. The brands charging the most money for the worst materials are almost always the furthest from telling you what is actually inside the garment. They hide behind vegan buzzwords, artificial distress marks, and outsourced supply chains. The brands charging fairly are the ones publishing their leather origins, naming their sole manufacturers, and utilizing traditional stitched construction. Next time you are holding a $400 sneaker with a famous logo on it, ask yourself one simple question. What does this leather do that a $180 one does not? If the answer isn't verifiable in the construction, put the shoe down. The stitch tells the truth.